Shape. Hitting back on our last game here. Quickly again, just some defensive things were good, but not a good finish. Offense, big plays. Struggled to get some run turnovers were extremely difficult to overcome. Difference in the game. Players that we thought played well. Our offensive player of the game, we recognized Dan Feeney and Divine Redding. I think Dan had 12 knockdowns. Matter of fact, I heard him say today that Coach Fry missed 2 of them, so he might have 14. Divine had over 100 yards, played very hard, ran the ball well offensively. Defensively, Tony Fields, really good. I think he was 10 of 10 in opportunities. We had a chance to make a play, had 8 solo tackles, interception on the ball, played really, really well. Also showed up in the kicking game. And Marcus Oliver, a very, very strong game. Our special team player of the game, the guy's been playing very, very well, graded very well. All 3 of our safeties played well. But Chase Dutra, who's kind of rotating with Tony and John Crawford at safety and playing his best football. All 3 of those guys had winning performances for us at the safety position, as did T. Gray. I think up front, Greg Gooch and Jacob Robinson played well. But Chase Dutra was recognized our special team player of the game. It's about 3 weeks in a row. He's been recognized on punt cover, kickoff returns. It's great effort, and a guy that's playing a lot of football on the defensive side. Gavin Everett defensively, Ryan Watercutter, Grayson Stover, and Clyde Newton were the scout guys that did a good look for us there. Michigan going to Michigan this week. Again, they're coming off a loss that I'm going to talk about, but they played great all year. 9-1. It'll be a 3 or 4 or 5, whatever in the college poll when it comes out. My rankings are up there. They played great. They're really good in all phases when you watch them. I mean, offensively, I think they're running for 230 and passing for 230. And a lot of people talk about balance, and you think it's 50-50 or even, but those are pretty stout numbers, both directions. They throw it very efficiently. Always have. The quarterbacks played very, very well. Those are a really strong tight end, a couple tight ends. They play 4, 5, 6 of them. But Jake Budd is outstanding. Their fullback plays awesome. Playing several running backs, one of which the young freshman, Chris Evans from Ben Davis. A lot of you guys know has played at an outstanding year and a very dynamic player. Their receivers outside have lit it up. Last year, one kid I think had 5 touchdowns against us, and he's back. And their other receivers playing better than him this year. So again, they're very, very complete offense and have played very, very solid all year. Defensively, probably playing better on defense than they're 11 points a game, giving up, very attack-oriented. They talk a lot about pressure, but the pressure they put is just how hard they play every play. So whether they're blitzing or not blitzing, whether they're challenging every throw, a lot of man-to-man coverages, bracket coverages, and just a front with a lot of 8, playing 7, 8, 9, 10 guys. Linebackers are pinning their ears back, getting after you. Kicked it well. Like I said, I know they came off. Iowa played an outstanding game. I think you look at our league and several teams have played well, or several teams in our league have played really, really well this season. But I think the Penn State outing and the home field effect there that they had against Ohio State, and then the Iowa outing last week at Michigan. Great environments and teams really playing hard and very opportunistic, and those were 2 awesome wins against 2 great teams. As the season propels. So it'll be a huge challenge. We're going up there. Again, I think our kids, we came in yesterday and really I think at a little different point. I think when you look at our team, I think a lot of people, well, we've been close. Well, this is the first time we've been close to winning games and played bad. We've been close. We played as good as we could, didn't turn it over and weren't good enough. We were physically matched up good. And the things that we're close on that need to get out of our football, I think, are correctable. When you're not big enough or fast enough or deep enough or can't kick it, we've got a great kicker. Got him back on point the other day. Need to keep him on point. But we got to take care of the ball. Those 5 turnovers. I think we went from 3rd in the nation in fewest fumbles after week 8. And at week 10, I think we're at 101. So we've dropped, I think, 98 spots in 2 weeks. So, again, it's and to me, that's coaching. And that's culture, and we kind of addressed that again. I think I was ridiculed years ago when Tevin Coleman went to Ann Arbor and fumbled and came out. But our deal is if you fumble, you don't play. And I kind of read it. I don't know what's up with that, but that's how we play here, and that's our culture. And I take responsibility for those fumbles because I guess we've gotten lax with that, and it was nothing personal, nothing direct, but it's going to get back to we're going to have to fight the squeeze, hang on the ball and take care of the ball. We got to protect the quarterback and throw it good. And then defensively, defense was good the other day. They got to build on that. They still didn't finish as good as they want. You got to create a few more turnovers and eliminate the big plays. So a lot to build on. Address it with the kids. We got a great challenge, a great opportunity. I know our kids are looking forward to it. It'll be a big week as we move into this one.
Pretty adamant about taking the blame on Saturday for his 2 fumbles. Did you say anything to him, going into this week to try and get him to move on to?
Well, I said it during the game that he was acting. I said, you're acting a little bit like Griff here. Now relax. You're good, and you didn't mean to. Sometimes I think we talked with some of our youthfulness about some guys being a little bit more mature, and we talked to some seniors about don't squeeze too tight and don't press. You got to do your best. You got to do it with focus, and you got to have that discipline and confidence. And sometimes, I know he wasn't trying to fumble, but again, we did. And when he said yesterday, he said he goes to me, he was walked by, I grabbed him. We weren't even talking about this. And he goes, I don't care what you say. I lost that game. I said, I don't care what you say. I lost that game. And that's just me and him going back and forth, and neither one would take no for the answer, because I can always call different plays. When they don't work, do something else. We always look at it. But you don't make a block, you don't make a throw, you don't make a catch. Sometimes it don't work, but. I remember one time I had a kid get hurt, and I go, I wish I'd have called another play when he got hurt. Because you think that. But at the same time, you make your decisions, move forward with them. And I just talked to him like, hey, man, the old conversation we have, Griff, let it go. And I think he's a good enough player. He will definitely do that. That's unusual. But I know he talked about wanting to leave a legacy. I'd like to see how he finishes again down the stretch here. And he's put in that position, and it'd be interesting to see. I think he's man enough to overcome finish like great players finish. Be neat to see how he competes this week. Great practice today. Light work as we get build, but be neat to see how he finishes. He's a special player, I think, who had a bad day.
What is Michigan coming off a loss? I really didn't run the ball well. What can you guys take away from the Penn State game where you held the Big Ten's best back to 60 yards? What kind of confidence does that give you going forward?
Well, you look at, like a week ago, we were watching Penn State really have a great running day against that Iowa defense. I think they ran for 340 or 50 or 60 on it. It was, and I think they had 567. It was the most yardage they had in a game in Penn State in a Big Ten game since '94. And that being said, though, Iowa came in and answered the call. And we talk about what do you hear, what's your influences, and what's your motivating factors. Iowa looked very, very motivated. And our deal is our defense played well, but they should still, to me, be very, very motivated that it wasn't good enough. And you should have confidence. You should see it. You should feel it. You should believe it. You should see all those tackles for losses. The week before, a lot of 3 and outs. There's a lot of good things. But there's 2 weeks in a row where at the end of the game, we're not getting some stops that we need. And we gave up a few big plays. And, when you commit to the run, like typically you got to, unless you're better than people or someone doesn't try to run the ball, you've got to commit to stop the run. And when you commit to stop the run, then you got some guys out there one-on-one. And sometimes, we were in position one-on-one, and they made some plays. If you watch our guys, there's some times where they're in position, and our guys still make, Westbrook or Ricky, those guys, Mitchell, come up with some really good plays one-on-one. So when we talk about the competitive play, when it's you and him and the ability to make the play. So they made a few competitive plays, but to build on they should have confidence, but they should also have a lot of fire because it wasn't good enough. I think that's how Coach Allen's approaching it. You should see it, you should feel it, you should see it going the way it wants to go. It's not where we want it to be, and let's keep pushing for it. And to me, it was evident watching Iowa's defense 2 weeks in a row. We saw 2 different things, and I think it was more of a mindset. And of course, one's at home, one's away. You're playing a crowd. We're going away this week, so we won't have the crowd behind us. But at the same time, when you're playing defense, I think the crowd affects offense on the road more than defense. Typically, they're kind of quiet when they're operating. It's, so your ability to get lined up and communicate, doesn't really, matter of fact, it's actually harder for defenses at home if your crowd's really cheering and creating the havoc that you want them to create. So I'd like to see those guys build on it. And I think they will. I know Coach Allen's, again, pretty driven about what he wants. And I know he likes a lot of things, and I know he's many things. I know he's pleased, but I know he's not satisfied. and he's going to keep pushing for it to keep building it.
I think Barkley had 20 yards and 20 carries at the end of the third quarter, and he had a 21-yard run in that stretch too, which tells you how well he was being stopped. Tony Fields said he thought it was the best fit up front that he'd seen. So, have you seen anything on film?
Well, I would say again, when you have confidence in your teammates and you trust that they're going to be in position, then do your job. I think sometimes and I talked to Coach Allen about it, but I always felt in years past and working with our guys, if a guy didn't believe the linebacker was going to be there, the D lineman's trying to do too much. Or if the linebacker didn't trust what the D-line was doing, he was doing too much, or the safeties, because they all basically work in conjunction with each other in their ability to keep leverage and eye discipline and structure. So the more we do the coach's package, the better it gets, but also the more success they have, the more confidence they have, not just in themselves, but the confidence in each other that everyone I think is now seeing how when they put it together, that individually there'll be a lot of plays made. If you work as a team, the plays will come your way. Where I think in the past, individually, okay, I got to do this, I got to do this. It's simple, but it's just, you got a job to do your job, do the assignment. Kick some tail while you're doing it.
Kevin, when you deal with a guy like Peppers who can be all over the field, how challenging is that?
Yeah, from a defensive perspective now, because again, I've been in golf kind of watching their defense, and of course they're moving around, and so much of what they do is from either pressures and he or other guys coming or playing man-to-man. And so in their man-to-man world, I think they look at matchups, and they're not going to flip everybody all over the place. Their corners kind of play left and right, but corners get matched up on certain guys. Backers get matched up on certain guys. And that means, sometimes it looks like they'll take a guy like Peppers and based on matchups, maybe almost have him more as an inside linebacker because they need him playing man-to-man against that type of athlete. Next week it might be against a tight end or a slot player. So he moves around defensively based on their calls. He also, it looks like he and a lot of other guys move around based on the opponent and how they're trying to match up in their coverage structure in matchups. He's an awesome defensive player, but they're all pretty stout. So you don't just point him out on defense. You've got to account for this three technique and this hand coming off the edge and these press corners and all their safeties and all that. So I think where he comes from is when he gets on the offensive field and where he's in the return game, because that's to me where his niche is, because he's going to play great defense and make his plays. But then what is he doing when he becomes a quarterback and they're a wildcat or a running back, and then what he does in the return game. So, they're going to try to get him touches. At the same time, he's a heck of a defense player, but their whole defense plays great defense. They're stout on D.
This is the first time where you're losing these close games because you're playing poorly instead of playing well. Is that kind of the message that you said to the team after the game?
At halftime, we said we thought we were really playing well. And as soon as we came in, before we looked at any stats made adjustments, I just grabbed the guys and I said, I really think you're playing hard and playing well, and you're playing better than them, but you need to, let's make sure we don't beat ourselves. It's hard enough to beat the other team. And in the second half, we were actually pretty good until the last fumble in the last drive when it got knocked out of Richard's hand. So outside of a low execution in the fourth quarter, they played a good second half. We started fast with a good drive. We take it down, 4th and 1, 1.5, don't convert it, then we score again. We had a chance early to really get it going. Stalled 2 drives in the end of the third, early fourth, and had a touchdown drive, and then didn't do anything in the last drive. So, you take those first half mistakes out, and the way our defense played, we had a chance to be up on them. So, but we weren't. We said a week ago to our football team, if we continue with those mistakes, we'd have a hard time winning. Well, that's now evident. Because we had some similar mistakes with turning the football over. So, again, I think our team realizes that we have enough players. We're playing well in some different phases. We can score a little bit more, but I think we're moving the football. Our third down conversions the last several weeks have been significantly better. Our scoring zone last week, the only one we didn't get was the 4th down. Our scoring zone was better. Our kicking's better. Like I say, last week it's been a little bit of an Achilles. And again, the game is not perfect. So, and we felt, and even this game, we're not going to need to play perfect this week to have a chance. You're not going to, but we need to play well. We knew we needed to play well. We played hard. We played tough. We did a lot of good things, but we had enough mistakes that we didn't play well.
Kevin, you have a dominant offensive lineman like Dan Feeney. Do defenses change their schemes a little bit to deal with him? Or have you changed your play calling because
No, well, I mean, sometimes we might say, hey, we're going to, especially like, when they kick the ball on a punt or a kickoff, it goes in the end zone, and you have the right, when it comes out to 20, 25, you want it in the middle, on the left or right. And sometimes, it would be like, hey, we're going to run this play. And sometimes like, hey, quarterback, if we were going to throw it, do you like it going left or right? And I know last week a couple times like, hey, if we're going to run the ball, I'd like to have it going this way because I know Dan's here. But at the same time, once the way we're doing it, certain plays are tight end oriented, split side oriented, and I think defenses do more of attacking the structure of your formations than players. So I don't think defenses, attack, him. I appreciate the way he's played tackle the last few weeks, which, has been a great testament to him being a good player and a great teammate. So I think most people would say he's a good player. I don't know if you really attack an O-lineman. Sometimes you might say if there's a weakness or a guy not playing well, let's get a defensive matchup because you think you can create a third down pass rush situation. Same deal, if you're attacking a linebacker or a cover guy. Okay, if we had our druthers, let's get this receiver on this guy because it's a good matchup. But I don't think that happens to Dan from that perspective. I don't think.
How you guys doing physically? Any new things or any updates?
No, I mean a couple bumps. I mean everybody kind of went today. We got some guys we got to be smart with this time of year with practice volume, and we're at a time of year where we got a routine going. Last week we did a little tapering with some of the stuff we did just to refresh for Saturday. I thought we played very, very hard Saturday, so we'll maintain some of that. There's a lot. I do think this, and in watching teams play, the best way to have chance of success is you fundamentally need to be good down the stretch, and as you get a little beat up or you're rotating guys around or they're playing different positions, and as you start to shorten your practice so your team stays fresh, you need to make sure that your fundamentals don't slip. And we did talk to our team specifically because, again, last game we could have been better if we'd been a little cleaner, fundamentally securing the football. I mean, just some fundamentals that we need to stay sharp. So as we finish, we don't want to wear our guys out, but we do need to maintain a fundamentalist approach to what we're trying to get accomplished, blocking, tackling, et cetera.
Anything you saw Iowa do against Michigan that you can kind of emulate next week?
Well, I mean, they're a little bit different offensively, I mean, they did a great job of tackling them, and which is not very few people have done, as I say, tackling, just getting them on schedule. They played looked like a slower game, we're a little bit more of a no huddle spread deal. I thought the last couple of weeks we did a little bit, but the stuff we've done with Xander and Tyler, kind of had a niche, but has not been as much. So we got to find some running game because they ran it okay. They were just very, very patient. They were very, very fortunate, and they got them in the stretch. When they got them down the stretch, they had a turnover at the end of the game that made a couple plays that won the game, and they just got it in the fourth quarter. So it was a great win. It was a great credit to them. And it was two really good teams playing, and like I say, they were fortunate enough to get it done.